just to take a step back, uh, honestly speaking also, like you rightly said, laundry business, especially in today's time, is probably an easier business to do, a business that can make you more money or that can make you profitable much quicker compared to any other businesses. The only place where probably laundry business does not compete with a restaurant business or a salon business or a preschool business is glamour. So and this is also something that happens. I have had many cases where people, they have made up their mind, they really want to get into the laundry business. So when we started uClean in 2015, I would say the stigma was much bigger. We encountered many more cases of people not wanting to get into the industry because they would be branded or they would be stigmatized as dhobi. But things have changed. I would still not say that everything is hunky-dory. There are people who still don't want to get into the laundry business because they don't want to be labeled a dhobi. And there are a lot of people in, like, I'll be very honest, in my franchise business also, almost 30-35% of my franchisees do not actively participate. So they come in with what I call an investor mindset. So they would invest in the store, they would maybe have another business, or they are professionally employed, and their team would run the show. And very often they would not even tell their friends that this particular uClean is owned by them. The perception has changed a lot. And COVID has driven that perception a lot. So before COVID, people were really gung-ho about restaurant businesses and other businesses that are technically competing with a laundry business when it comes to investment perspective. So say, for example, you can set up a laundry business, a small retail laundry business in a budget of 15 to 20 lakhs. This used to be a very tough competition before COVID. But because of COVID, people started realizing that these businesses are susceptible to economical changes. They are susceptible to changes like COVID. And that's when they started favorably considering a laundry business. So that has been one very major change that I have observed in the last couple of years. And I feel that this change will become even stronger. Going forward, more people would want to get into a business like laundry. Another reason for that is also what we have seen is that the trend of casual wear is becoming very, very quick in India. Now we are also talking about slow fashion. So there's a brand in London by the name of Oxwash, which has been started by some scientists from NASA. And that entire business is built on one single premise. It's a laundry business, and they work on this concept of recycle, reuse, repurpose. So the idea is that if you go to London, you will see that suddenly people are talking about recycling of clothes. People are talking about purchasing expensive clothes so they don't have to keep changing the clothes very often so that it does not adversely impact the environment. So the concept of reuse, repurpose, recycle is catching up very, very fast in the western parts of the world. And there are laundry brands that are being created out of this. Oxwash actually owes about 50% of its business to these apparel chains that actually recycle clothes. So London alone has close to 300 brands that now focus only on recycling old clothes and bringing out new clothes. And this brand, Oxwash, has a tie-up with at least 30% of them. So this is a new concept, and this would eventually also catch up in India.
If we look at the evolved markets, like how he was pointing out to, UK or even the US, all right, the learnings are pretty much similar. If what was happening there 20 years ago is something that is being adopted here now, all right. So when we look at the future, I'm sure the formats are going to change, right? The laundromats over a period of time are going to get bigger, all right. Having said that, somebody has to start somewhere. So that is one, all right. We are talking about significant impacts from a no water laundry or a zero discharge laundry kind of story as well, all right. And these things will gain significance over a period of time. New technology, I believe, will evolve, all right. And including the tech that connects us, right? Like, let's talk about the IoT, or we talk about, newer systems and platforms, which somebody like Sukant operates. These are only going to help us get better and more profitable, all right? There are a plethora of things if we look at from, even the skill set. So let's look at manpower. Let's look at the essentials in the industry, like our energy consumption, natural resources like water, all these are going to get more and more dearer to us. And for us to be able to fight, because we want to conserve our profitability or earn that profitability, we will have to be early adopters in this game. All right? Like all businesses, yes, people who adapt the new age thinking will survive, the other will have to get out of business. A lot of systems are now being made available in the market, which actually reuse water, all right, or reuse the energy that comes out of the washing machine, the dryers, the ironers, what have you, right? All this is going to add up to our bottom line at some point of time. So adoption of right technology, which helps you build your profitability, is perhaps the right way to go. And not to be so risk averse that that you are unable to invest, or you do not invest in a efficient piece of equipment. It is important for all of us to keep our eyes open for a lot of new digital innovations. All right, look at how the payment system have gone up during COVID, right? If we are going to be resistant and not, imbibe new softwares, or the way we manage our businesses, just because we can, I'll be very candid here, to save taxes, not to show it on the books, I don't think that is the right way to go. All right? Uh, Adopt new technology, keep your business more transparent to yourself so you can see how your bottom line is growing. All right? Get on to, put yourself out there. All right? Market yourself. I think that our industry seriously lacks.
So I feel that this industry is at a point where the time has come. See, everything that we talked about, new machinery, reusable, exciting new, saving money, saving electricity costs, this all can be easily weaponized to a customer. It's for acquisition. Why should you reuse? Why should you not? Because the customer cares. If the customer is caring and he believes in what you want to do, if he believes that, yes, reusing their clothes is the right way to go, yes, my dry cleaner, my laundromat is the one who is a zero carbon guy, the kind of loyalty that you would expect from these groups is amazing. And that is where the future is. What I believe is that most of the people who do these businesses and who change small technologies usually change this with the idea that they would start making money instantly, which never happens with any infrastructure. But probably they can market this much better to their customers, and their customers would like to know, because their customers want to go to the best. So I, for example, believe that in the next 10 years, we'll see a lot of new machinery coming in, which will actually save a lot of perk. Government will go seriously very hard on this. On any of the environmental toxic natures of this business, government will go extremely hard on this, and people who will come out of this with the positive message that yes, we changed, yes, we listened, and we are in the right frame, we are in the right movement. Climate change is something that people extremely compare and associate themselves with as a movement. So I believe that they would do this, and the businesses who would follow these kind of norms and rules. And we see this in US, for example, Green Earth Cleaning is one of the biggest franchisee / movements. And their whole idea is that the machineries that you buy have to be Green Earth. The machineries have to be of a certain brand, of a certain quality. And they are able to build a lot of brand loyalty out of this in customers. And believe where the customers move, people will come anyways. So I believe that the people who are doing laundry right now and who at least survived out of COVID. See, COVID removed a lot of people who were very good and they came back. And it also wiped out a lot of unnecessary competition that was just there. And that is leading to a lot of good consolidation. People who are coming out, like I see numbers regularly, are doing much better than they were doing before. And they understand it too, because they've started investing more money into this. And usually this is a business where you have an asset and you consistently have to pump X to make 3X and take a profit of X.5. And there is that X.5 is the biggest profit usually you will see. So I believe this business has a lot of potential to grow extremely high in the next few years if people are ready to believe with the mindset that they need to go asset first, promotion first, and promote themselves really well.
The percentage of the organized industry would be close to 6 to 7%. And this has happened because consumers have been asking questions. So let us take you back 10 years back. If you look at 10 years back, as a consumer, you did not have many options. At that point in time also, you did not have any transparency. So as a consumer, when you gave out your clothes, you had no visibility into what's happening with your clothes. Where are they getting washed? What kind of chemicals? What kind of detergents are being used? How are the clothes being handled? So these were some questions that the consumer did not have answer to. And I would even say the consumer did not dare ask to. But if you look at today, the consumer is very conscious. He wants to understand the systems. He wants to understand the process. And like Sukant was talking about, consumer is starting to become environmentally conscious also. He needs to know if he's getting a cloth washed at XYZ laundry, how is that process contributing to the environment, or how badly is that process impacting the environment. So one change that you can foresee that is going to happen in the future is that consumer will drive a lot of changes. So consumer will ask more questions, brands will have to respond to it. It doesn't matter whether you are a chain or you are a standalone laundromat, you will have to respond to a lot of these questions that will keep coming up, and a lot of future changes would be driven from these questions that are being asked.